This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's 6 o'clock and we're tracking some snow into parts of central Indiana. This will impact some of you for the morning commute. We'll have the timing and potential snowfall totals.
Who are we?
ASME!
Who are we?
ASME!
IPS transportation workers making their voices heard as their jobs hang in the balance. We're live this morning breaking down the vote, leaving hundreds impacted.
Dozens of people living at a Southwest Side mobile home park given just weeks to pack up and move their homes. Working for you. How the neighbors are now getting help from the state attorney general's office.
And do you use PayPal? This morning, we're helping you avoid a new phishing scam so you don't waste your money.
Now you know.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on your Friday. Raphael was just telling us he is getting his snowblower and his gloves ready. I think that's a little too much.
Maybe.
Yeah.
When you live out in the country, you have to be ready, Lauren, right?
That is true. I will agree
ready.
to that. But I think we're just seeing some flurries this morning. So stand down on that. And Todd is going to break down what's really happening out there.
Don't go get the gas, Raphael. We'll just get you a little broom and you can just sweep off your front step and you should be just...
You're going to want my snowblower. I bet you're going to want my snowblower.
Maybe able to use that down the line, but not today, as we're just tracking some light snow here in central Indiana. Not all of this is even reaching the ground. There's been reports of a few flurries up in Fowler. We'll come down here into southern locations, and you can see with temperatures that are still above freezing down toward Shoals, it's basically all rain already. And there's probably a few flakes falling there in the Bedford and Seymour area, but the bulk of the more heavier, more substantial precipitation is still off to our southwest. And this is going to move through really quick. So it's a quick hitting system. If you walk out the door right now into work, you're going to be just fine. It's probably not until 8, 9 o'clock this morning that we maybe get some minor accumulation in southern locations. And by minor, I'm talking a ½ an inch or less of snow. That's why I said Raphael could just use the broom, because it's not going to be a lot. It could be enough to slicken up the roadways in an isolated spot or two. But keep in mind, temperatures are still above freezing in southern locations. So while it may accumulate on grassy areas, the roads may get a little slushy, but I'm not expecting huge issues here. But obviously, anytime there's slush or rain or snow on the road, you just give yourself a little bit of extra time. By the time we get to the noon hour and beyond, we're just dealing with cloudy skies and temperatures that eventually will climb up to 40 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a look right now at your commute on the south side. Good morning to you. This is I-65 near Southport Road. You can see a lot of headlights moving northbound and southbound at this hour. Everything's traveling up to speed, so that is good news. Let's take you up to the northeast side. Good morning to you in Hamilton County. Looking at drive times for you, starting at State Road 13, heading to I-465, the ramp system there. It's a 13-minute drive. That is normal. No delays to slow you down.
Now at 6:02, IPS bus drivers face an uncertain future after the school board voted to approve a new transportation contract.
The change will impact hundreds of people.
And our Alyssa Donovan, she's been following this story from the beginning. Alyssa, what does this mean for those current employees?
So essentially it means some changes. Right now, IPS splits the transportation duties for the district between their own department and contracted company Durham School Services. The change voted on last night will put all of the transportation duties in the hands of one new company, First Student. Staff members who work for the district and Durham have been told they can apply for jobs with First Student. However, they do have concerns, and those concerns were voiced during a roughly 4-hour school board meeting last night. Bus drivers asking the district not to approve the new transportation contract, but that contract was approved, and starting July 1st, all IPS bus routes will be run by First Student. Current workers are encouraged to apply for those jobs with First Student. However, drivers and attendants learned at that meeting that the positions would be considered part-time with a 4-hour work minimum. Union representatives say they plan to negotiate that with the company, as right now drivers are full-time employees with benefits.
You won't be able to retain employees working 2 hours. So even if they wanted that, they wouldn't have employees that would stay. They'll be hiring on a regular basis. So it does the community disservice, and it does the families and the employees that work a disservice.
The district reports the new transportation contract will save them millions of dollars. And the district also released this statement saying the IPS Board of School Commissioners approved a contract with First Student Transportation that will improve the quality and reliability of transportation for our students and provide increased peace of mind for families. We value our employees and their loyal service and will work cooperatively with First Student to help all successful teammates find a new job within the company. Union representatives are meeting with First Student and IPS today. They intend to discuss current employees' retirement and benefits, as well as ensuring employment for current workers.
Alyssa, thank you. People being forced from their homes due to the sudden shutdown of a mobile home park are starting to get compensation. On Thursday, the Attorney General's office delivered checks to residents of the I-70 mobile home park. Those homeowners first reached out to RTV6 for help back in August after receiving notices to leave the property by October. After several of our reports, the Indiana Attorney General's office issued a restraining order against the landowners. The AG's office also ordered the owners to pay residents for mobile homes that could not be moved.
If the government hadn't stepped in, we'd have probably really got, screwed over pretty good. Everybody had to move and had nothing to move with. I mean, it still don't cover the full cost of what we have invested in the trailer, but it's better than just leaving with zero.
Staff members from the Attorney General's office plan to return to the mobile home park later today. You can find a full timeline of our reporting on this situation on our website, theindychannel.com. And as always, if you need help solving a problem you cannot get answers to, reach out to us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
The time right now is 6:05. The state's latest Safe Haven baby box is set to be unveiled this morning, this time at the White River Township Fire Department in Greenwood.
So after today, there will be more than 25 Safe Haven baby boxes available in our state. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with a look at how the baby boxes are not just saving lives, Kelsey, but also creating many families. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So yeah, you're right. They're also completing families. And today we're going to tell you a story about a little girl who was dropped off at a baby box just like this one on September 6th of last year, and now she has completed a family. Here's a picture of that baby whose name we now know is Grace. Her parents, Mario and Jennifer Melgoza, bravely shared their story of infertility, fostering, and adopting with RTV6 to show just how important these baby boxes are. Jennifer says she never stops thinking about the person who surrendered Grace, because whoever did gave her and her husband something at times they thought they would never have, a baby to call their own. Since that first baby box was installed in Indiana in 2016, 5 babies have been surrendered inside baby boxes, and 2 others have been surrendered at fire stations. And nationwide, 60 surrenders have resulted from calls to the Safe Haven Baby Box National Hotline. So today at 10:30, this baby box here in Greenwood will be blessed and put into service. And we've been covering these baby boxes extensively since 2016. So for all of our stories and to learn more about these boxes and how they work, visit our news app. We've also got an in-depth look at Jennifer and Mario's story of fostering and adopting. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. A man accused of shooting at IMPD officers during a chase is off the streets this morning. Police arrested Kevin Brewer on Thursday in connection to a chase on Wednesday afternoon through the north side. Investigators say at least 1 shot was fired at officers. No one was hurt. Brewer faces an attempted murder charge. IMPD and federal law enforcement agencies say they are working together to fight crime by focusing on a small number of people responsible for violence across Indianapolis. The Crime Gun Intelligence Center is one way officials are combining resources to catch criminals. We told you earlier this month the lab pieces together the evidence left behind every time a gun is shot.
If you are pulling a trigger, shooting at another human being, shooting at a car, shooting at a house, pulling a trigger, you're a danger and you should be targeted. Trigger pullers, as we know, continue to pull the trigger until they murder somebody or until they're arrested themselves.
Officials say the center has helped remove 339 violent individuals and 254 guns from the community.
The time now is 6:08. A Tri-West high school teacher accused of sexual misconduct with a student will appear in court next week. The initial hearing for Tyler Bruce now scheduled for February the 5th in Hendricks County. He's charged with child seduction and obstruction of justice. Bruce is now on unpaid suspension as the school district moves to fire him. And this story continues to develop. A former Tri-West principal, Adam Benner, is now due in court on March the 3rd. Benner charged with failure to report allegations of child abuse to law enforcement or the Department of Child Services. He received a summons to appear in court and will not be arrested at this time. The failure to report charge is a misdemeanor. Benner has not issued a statement on the charge. Call 6 Investigates has been looking into the case since the beginning. You can find our timeline on how this all unfolded. A great story by Kara Kenny right now on the RTV6 app.
The time right now is 6:09. The racing world and the central Indiana community continues to mourn the loss of John Andretti. He died yesterday after that long battle with colon cancer. John Andretti competed in 12 Indy 500s, but most of his success in racing came in NASCAR. He earned his first career win at the July race at Daytona. Andretti also made a huge impact away from the track, creating the Race for Riley in 1997. That annual go-kart competition has raised nearly $4 million for Riley Children's Hospital. John Andretti was 56 years old.
The number of coronavirus cases in China continues to rise. New at 6:13. The warning from U.S. officials if your plans include traveling to China. Todd.
And Meredith, I don't think it's a huge issue for us here throughout the morning commute, but some of you will encounter a wintry mix, mainly in southern locations with temperatures hovering at or just above the freezing mark. We'll show you the Snow and Storm Team 6 radar and talk about potential snowfall totals coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 6:10. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Flooring, floors to your home, that too.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 6:13. Developing overnight, the U.S. State Department has issued a new advisory warning Americans not to travel to China because of the coronavirus.
As ABC's Janae Norman reports, the warning comes as the first human-to-human case is confirmed here in the U.S.
This morning, a prediction about the coronavirus is coming true.
This second case did not travel to China.
Doctors in Chicago now confirming the nation's 6th case of coronavirus, but this is the first person-to-person transmission.
We do not have sign of spread in the general public at this time.
Officials say the man is married to a Chicago woman who was already diagnosed. He was placed in isolation Tuesday, the same day he developed symptoms. But unlike his wife and the other Americans infected, he had not been to China.
Public health officials are investigating locations where this second patient has visited in the last 2 weeks and any close contacts who were possibly exposed.
As health officials declared a global emergency Thursday, this was the scene outside pharmacies across Asia where stores are running out of face masks. China is now reporting nearly 10,000 cases of the virus. More than 200 people have now died. Hundreds of Americans are still stuck in the Chinese city where the outbreak began, including Priscilla Dickey and her daughter.
It's an interesting feeling. You're trapped, you're isolated.
The U.S. State Department has now raised its China travel advisory to a level 4, do not travel, its highest level. The union representing pilots at American Airlines is suing the company to stop flights to China, where pilots at Delta and United are being allowed to refuse flights without pay. Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
The time now is 6:15. U.S. health officials continue to monitor that coronavirus closely, but they do want to remind all of us that the flu is still a much bigger threat. In fact, the flu has killed more than 8,000 Americans since the start of the season, and doctors admitted more than 150,000 people to the hospital for treatment. This year isn't even that severe. Last year, the flu actually killed 34,000 people here in the United States. Flu activity usually peaks around this time of year, and it tapers off by April. Your two best defenses against the flu are getting the flu shot and washing your hands frequently.
In our Democracy 2020 coverage, Twitter now rolling out a new tool to help you report misleading information about the upcoming election. The platform says it will be available during key moments and is geared towards stopping false information about how to register to vote or casting a ballot. Many other social media giants have also revealed similar features, including Facebook, YouTube, and Pinterest.
Horror stories of online dating gone wrong have made national headlines. Now, several dating apps are under fire from the U.S. government. The House subcommittee has launched an investigation to make sure sex offenders and minors are not being allowed to make accounts. Bumble, Grindr, Tinder, Match.com, and OK OkCupid are all being analyzed. The subcommittee is working to collect information on the service's privacy policies, users' ages, and complaints about assault or rape.
At 6:16, 2019 was a tough year for American farmers. U.S. farm bankruptcies jumped 20% last year. That's the highest level since 2011, when the country was still recovering from the recession. This despite $28 billion in aid extended to farmers over the past couple of years. According to the American Farm Bureau, 595 family farms declared Chapter 12 bankruptcy. The cause, uncertainty in the markets spurred by trade wars and rewritten international agreements.
Raphael is getting extremely excited over here because he sees those snowflakes behind Todd. But Raph, I have to break it to you, that's just an animation.
Well,
that's not a window to what's happening outside right now.
But I do have a snowblower, and if you needed it, you'd call me.
That's true.
And I dig you out. I'm just saying. You
He's
call
a good
Todd.
neighbor.
I'm a good, okay.
Yeah.
And so is Todd Clausen. Good morning, Todd.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, it's, just going to be a light snow here across the area. Very similar to this graphic. We're never going to get into any heavy snow, and some of you may not even see any snow throughout the course of the day today. It's just a quick moving system that's going to come through, so that's why I have light snow for some. Most of the accumulation will be mainly across southern locations, and a few slick spots are possible, but we're talking about a ½ an inch or less of snow, so it's not a big-time snow for us. We've been keeping an eye on these temperatures. They've been holding fairly steady. They did drop a degree in Bloomington at 33, so you're inching closer to the freezing mark. We're right at freezing in Martinsville, 33, and Indy below freezing to the north. So let's go over to Storm Team 6 radar, and you see quite a bit of white. Not all of this is reaching the ground, and it looks worse on radar than it actually is. So if you are walking out the door within the next half hour or so to start your commute, you're going to be just fine. If your commute starts at 8 o'clock onward, that's when you could start to run into some issues here in southern locales. You notice these darker shaded areas, Columbus over towards Shelbyville, probably some light snow falling there, a few flakes. And of course, if you do have a report, you send it to my Facebook page. James had a few flurries up in the Fowler area that he sent in earlier this morning. But you notice the change over to rain here, and this is bringing some warmer air with it. So I am expecting a changeover to take place in these southern locations, and that would essentially wipe out any accumulating snow that you would have across the area. And the back edge of this is already in central Illinois. So it moves through very, very quickly. This is not a lingering issue that we're going to have into the afternoon and your evening commute. The bulk of any accumulation should be during the middle half of the morning. So most of you should be at work at that point, and that is the good news. And we could even see a few peaks of sunshine in northern locations once we work our way into the afternoon hours. Here's some potential snowfall totals for you. A couple tenths of an inch from Indianapolis to the south, and that is just about it. Notice no accumulation across northern areas. Temperature-wise, once this system pushes off towards the east, we will see our temperatures actually start to moderate. We'll be up to right around 40 degrees for your afternoon high later on today. And then as we look forward in this forecast, tomorrow there could be a little bit of a rain-snow mixture during the afternoon hours. No accumulation, 43. But Sunday's still the day. Sunshine returns. Super Bowl Sunday. It's also Groundhog Day, 55 degrees. So it will be a great day to get out and about before the Super Bowl. And then on Monday, it's still really warm. We're up to near 60 degrees with increasing clouds. Late Monday, there could be some showers. Held it out of the graphic here because I think it would be after sunset. But that will lead to a pretty wet day for us on Tuesday. But it's all rain with a high of 55 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Well, we are looking around on our traffic cameras trying to find some of those snow flurries. And we're looking down here in Franklin right now. And while you can't see the snow flurries or anything on the camera, you can see wet roads as those headlights are going by. So just use caution and watch for any slick spots. Assume that the roads could be slick this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated. Traffic in that area is moving along up to speed in Johnson County. So let's take a look right now from our live drive vehicle. Our photographer Shay Goodpaster in the driver's seat. This is the dash cam view of I-65 southbound here in Indianapolis, approaching Southport Road. Everything there is traveling up to speed. Of course, we'll continue to monitor any issues.
So a new report is giving the FDA a failing grade for its response to the vaping epidemic. The American Lung Association says the agency hasn't done enough to protect kids from flavored tobacco products. The FDA banned certain flavors recently, but that ban does not include menthol. Reports show as many as 27% of high schoolers admit to using e-cigarettes last year. The American Lung Association says this shows the FDA has failed to properly oversee tobacco products.
Delta Airlines says its plans to replace the uniforms that hundreds of its employees say are causing health problems. Employees, mostly flight attendants, have filed a federal lawsuit against Land's End, the company that makes the uniforms. They say they've experienced a variety of health problems since Delta introduced the uniforms in May of 2018. Delta says tests showed the uniforms were safe. The lawsuit claims employees' own tests found chemicals and heavy metals in the material far above industry safety standards.
So here's a big question on Good Morning Indiana. Is Tom Brady, the Tom Brady, leaving the NFL or staying loyal to the Patriots? All new at 6:24, the tweet that has Twitter twitching with all kinds of talk.
And the first steps to a better health begins with 15 minutes of walking each day. February is American Heart Month, and each morning here on Good Morning Indiana, we're going to share a tip to help you and your family stay healthy. The tips are part of the Go Red for Women campaign sponsored by the American Heart Association. The time right now is 6:22 on your Friday. We'll be right back.
Dream Mattress Studio at Value City Furniture.
The time is now 6:25, and what's trending at 6? They often say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but sometimes you want that picture to tell you.
Caption.
Yeah, right? A meme, because we need to know what you're talking about. So check this out. A social media post from Tom Brady, the Tom Brady, presented without a caption, which is a big problem and now causing quite a stir online. The New England Patriots quarterback posted this photo on Twitter and Instagram. People are speculating is he walking away from the field or signaling that he is leaving the Patriots or football altogether, or walking towards it, implying that he's staying loyal to the Patriots. Let the debate begin. What do you guys think it means?
It's probably just a piece of art that he's going to hang in his home or something like that.
We'll see.
I think he's way too
wanting
hard
us to speculate.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
All right, now that sports betting is legal in Indiana, Hoosiers will be placing all sorts of bets on the Super Bowl. But of course, you can bet on more than just the results of the big game. Here is a look at some of the more interesting Super Bowl prop bets you can make. You can, of course, pick if the coin toss will end in a heads or a tails, or if an offensive or defensive lineman will score a touchdown. In addition, you can try to predict if the jersey number of the first touchdown scorer will be over or under 26. And if you're looking to bet what color Gatorade will be dumped on the winning coach, right now, the favorite is purple. I'm going to go yellow, lemon lime.
Yeah, that's what I would have guessed. A lot of choices.
You can also bet on the length of the national anthem, whether it's going to go over or under a certain time.
Okay.
All right.
I usually take the over because they're on the big stage, so they seem to
go a little crazy.
Make it go a little crazy.
I think who's performing Demi Lovato this year, so I think we might go over since she has such a powerful voice.
And I bet you're going to want my snowblower if it snows a lot. I'm just saying, I'm betting.
Nobody wants your snowblower today, but if you got a shovel and a helping hand with it for a neighbor, some of you may see some minor accumulation here. You notice the temperatures from Indy to Bloomington to Muncie all still above freezing. Below freezing to the north, but northern locations less in the way of precipitation. So we'll expand out, and you can see this is a quick moving system. The back edge already in eastern Illinois. So it moves through this morning. Any accumulation, which would be Indianapolis southward, will generally be less than a half an inch. But with the temperature still above freezing, a lot of this is melting when it hits the ground. So you'll see some wet roadways this morning, but no accumulation as of yet. That could change, though, as we get to 8 o'clock onward.
Todd, thank you so much. Warning this morning to anyone who uses PayPal. A new phishing scheme is targeting thousands of users, and it's so slick that lots of people are falling for it.
Yeah, working for you this morning, John Matarese spoke with one victim so that you don't waste your money.
Many of us use PayPal for our online transactions because it's much safer than giving an unknown retailer your credit card. But one woman was just scammed for hundreds of dollars when her PayPal site turned out to not be the real thing. Dolores Reed was on her email the other day when she found this alarming message from PayPal.
Suspicious activity has been noted on your account. So naturally, I'm going to go to PayPal to find out what's going on.
So she followed the link where the site asked her to log in.
Oh, it's PayPal. I've always been able to trust PayPal.
How good did this PayPal site look?
Believable. Very believable.
But it wasn't. It was a phishing scam.
So after that, they just start taking money out of my account.
Now, unfortunately, Dolores' PayPal account was not connected to a credit card where she could have disputed the charges. Rather, it was linked directly to her bank account, where the money came out immediately.
They took $300, $200, and $200. That's my meal money. That's my food money.
So don't let this happen to you. PayPal says if you receive an email about your account, log in through paypal.com. Do not click through an email link. It also says to beware emails saying your account's about to be suspended. And if you're suspicious, stop.
I had a little bit of suspicion, but I didn't heed on it.
Best way to protect yourself, if you have a credit card, link your PayPal account to that card, not your bank. That way you're not liable for fraud and you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
John, thanks. Now in Good Morning Indiana on this Friday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. The Johnson County prosecutor now says a drug deal led to the shooting death of an 18-year-old in Franklin last weekend. Court documents say Donovan Burdine was shot multiple times last Saturday after an argument started when he tried to buy marijuana from the suspect. 20-year-old Emilio Luis Garcia has been charged with the murder.
The man who supplied the gun that killed Boone County Deputy Jacob Pickett in 2018 will spend the next 48 years in prison. The 23-year-old John Ball pleaded guilty to providing the gun that Anthony Bumgart used to kill the deputy. Ball initially faced a murder charge, but a deal with prosecutors reduced the charge to providing a firearm to a person who shouldn't have one.
A former swimmer is suing Carmel Clay schools, claiming they failed to protect her from her coach. Former Carmel swim coach John Giles is serving more than 16 years in prison for exploiting the then student and possessing child pornography. The lawsuit says school officials failed to protect her from Giles despite warnings that he was having inappropriate relationships with female swimmers.
USA Gymnastics is offering sexual abuse survivors millions of dollars to settle claims connected to former national team doctor Larry Nassar. They are offering $215 million, saying that is the amount the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee are willing to provide. USA Gymnastics is based in Indianapolis. It faces dozens of lawsuits from athletes who were abused by Nassar.
And we love this guy. The long goodbye for TK will begin in May. Tony Kanaan announced that 2020 will be his final season as a primary driver for the IndyCar circuit. He will run only the 5 oval races this year, beginning with the Indianapolis 500. TK isn't saying just yet if he's retiring from racing completely. He says after the season, he'll see what's gonna happen. What a guy with a lot of enthusiasm and energy. There should be like a coffee drink named after him. He is so like pow and going on. So
He is. Well, it is 6:31. We want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. And guys, we do have snow. It is dark from our live drive vehicle, so it's hard to see, but we're trusting Shea Goodpaster. He has the windshield wipers going, and this is the area he's at, I-65 near the Whiteland Road exit. So use caution if that's part of your commute.
Yeah, you know, so we're seeing the snow falling. Temperatures, though, are still above freezing. So a lot of it, as it's hitting the ground, at least right now, is just melting. So the roadways are going to be wet, but certainly when the roadways are wet, they could be slick as well. But as we now progress throughout the remainder of the morning and some of the heavier precipitation comes in, it could probably start to overcome those temperatures right around freezing. And there could be a little bit of slush on the roadways for your morning commute. Again, that's mainly in southern locales. I know you see some white on Storm Team 6 radar here to the north. That's a few flurries, but really northern locations, I don't think you really get into much of anything in the way of potential minor accumulation. But as you go on I-65 here towards Whiteland to Franklin down to Edinburgh, some light snow into the Columbus area now back towards Bloomington and Nashville. We'll go a little further to the south and you could see the changeover that's taking place near Shoals. I would expect Bedford and Seymour probably to change over to just plain old rain as this system moves through. But here is the back edge, and this goes through quickly. So we only deal with it this morning. By this afternoon, we'll have dry conditions, and once we bring those dry conditions in here, temperatures will eventually get up to near 40 degrees. But for this morning, we'll continue to deal with these snow showers. Your noontime temperature right around 36. We'll show you the accumulation coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren?
All right, Todd. Well, you can see those wet roads as snowflakes are hitting the ground and melting, as you said. This is in Franklin, I-65 and State Road 44. You can see as the cars go by the wetness on the roads this morning, so you'll want to use caution as you travel through those parts of Johnson County. Let's give you another look in this area from our live drive vehicle. Shea Goodpaster in the driver's seat. You can see everything here is traveling up to speed, and that is great news. No crashes or delays to report at this hour around the metro area.
Who are we? Ask me! Who are we? Ask me!
Hundreds of bus drivers facing uncertainty this morning after Indianapolis Public Schools voted to approve a new transportation contract. It is a story we've been following for several days now. Our Alyssa Donovan joins us with more. Alyssa, what does last night's vote mean, and do we know how this will impact bus drivers and other transportation employees?
Well, Meredith, according to IPS, it means more reliability for parents when it comes to bus service. But for bus drivers, the change means they have to apply for jobs with the new company, and there are concerns about what these jobs will entail. Bus drivers voicing those concerns during a 4-hour school board meeting last night, urging the district not to approve the new transportation contract, but they did. Starting July 1st, all IPS bus routes will be run by the company First Student. Right now, transportation duties are split between district staff and vendor Durham School Services. All of those employees were told to apply for jobs with First Student. However, drivers and attendants learned last night at the meeting that their positions with First Student would be part-time. Right now, bus drivers with the district are considered full-time employees with benefits.
You won't be able to retain employees working 2 hours. So even if they wanted that, they wouldn't have employees that would stay. They'll be hiring on a regular basis. So it does the community disservice, and it does the families and the employees that work at disservice.
The district reports the new contract will save millions of dollars, releasing a statement that quality and reliability will also improve. The district also intends to work with employees to transition into positions with First Student. And today, union representatives will be meeting with the district and that new company, First Student. They tell us they plan to discuss ensuring employment for current workers, retirement, and benefits.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 6:35. The state's latest Safe Haven baby box is set to be unveiled this morning. This time it's right here in central Indiana at the White River Township Fire Department in Greenwood.
Our state will have more than 25 Safe Haven baby boxes available after today. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with a look at how the baby boxes are making a major impact, Kelsey, in the lives of children as well as so many families across our state.
That's right, Raphael. Not only are they saving children, they're completing families. And on September 6th of last year, a baby was surrendered in a Safe Haven baby box just like this one. And now she has answered the prayers of parents in Indiana. So here's a picture of that baby whose name we now know is Grace. Her parents, Mario and Jennifer Melgoza, bravely shared their story of infertility, fostering, and adopting with RTV6 to show just how important these baby boxes are. Jennifer says she never stops thinking about the person who surrendered Grace because whoever did gave her and her husband something at times they thought they would never have, a baby to call their own. Since the first baby box was installed in 2016, 5 babies have been surrendered inside baby boxes in Indiana, and 2 others have been surrendered at fire stations. And nationwide, 60 babies have been surrendered as a result from calls to the Safe Haven Baby Box National Hotline. Again, today at 10:30, this box right here in Greenwood will be blessed, and it'll be put into service. And we've been covering this pretty extensively since 2016. So for more information on the Safe Haven baby boxes and the Safe Haven law here in Indiana, visit our news app. We've also got an extensive look into the story of the Melgoza family. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. A new group of state lawmakers will work together to pass legislation to help improve the state's high infant and maternal mortality rates. Indianapolis Representative Vanessa Summers is launching the Maternal Health Caucus. Indiana's maternal mortality rate is the 3rd highest in the country. The infant mortality rate is the 7th highest. The caucus will study and present solutions to the issue. New legislation from the group is expected to be introduced starting next year.
Their water bills, they went really way up high. Then they saw where the money, some of that money, was going. Up next, residents raising their voices causes one city council to walk back their plans.
Are you looking for work or maybe just a side hustle to bring in some extra money? Coming up, Hiring Hoosiers will show you 2 places that have part-time help wanted signs hanging in their windows. It's 6:38. We'll be right back.
To Keller and Keller.
A proposal to buy a $150,000 stage by the Martinsville City Council has been quickly walked back. It's because several people complained about the city's plan to use the money from water and sewer funds to help pay for it. Last fall, people in Martinsville reached out to RTV6 after their water bills more than doubled last month. Then the city announced it would use $45,000 from water and sewer operations to cover part of the cost of the new stage. Opponents of the plan think there are better uses for the money.
We have $150,000 laying around to buy a stage. You could do things like hire a couple extra police officers, address this plume that everybody's talking about, the toxic plume, implement something to change the way the slumlords in the community do things, or stimulate the sewer department and bring the bills back down to a reasonable, affordable rate.
The Martinsville Council will again discuss paying for the stage at its next meeting on February 10th.
Big changes are on the way for Indigo bus routes, and it's causing some riders some concern. Indigo is switching over to a grid-based route system. Right now it operates on a hub-and-spoke system, meaning that you usually need to make a transfer to go downtown. Indigo says the new system will mostly eliminate that need, and most changes will happen over the summer. We talked to some people who say they support public transit, but they're worried about losing some of these routes.
They're losing a direct line to downtown Indianapolis, which to me is not a progression, it's a backward movement.
We're seeing a lot of changes with transit right now, but investment and improvements haven't really happened and really been looked into for almost 70 years. If you look at our map from 1945, it looks very similar to the map today.
Indigo says it wants to hear from you as it makes these adjustments. You can find more information about these changes in this story on the RTV6 app.
With the upcoming census, the Bureau needs workers to help take count, so they're hosting a recruiting blitz this weekend for those interested. Hourly pay for census workers in Indiana will range from $18.50 to $25 per hour. The hours are also flexible. An open house will be held at the Indianapolis Census Office on West Ohio Street from noon to 2 tomorrow. You can apply on-site for both field and office positions. The Indianapolis Indians are also looking to hire for this summer. The minor league baseball team is holding open interviews next Saturday from 10 to 2 at Victory Field. Seasonal openings range from bat boys and girls to field operations and ushers. You can find more information on both the Indians and census jobs on our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
Well, they just grow up so quickly, don't they? Up next, we got introduced to this little guy just last week, and now this cute little thing is celebrating a milestone. We'll have that story coming up.
And he helped carry the Pacers while another big star was injured, and now he gets his reward. We'll show you which Pacer is going to the All-Star game for the All-Star game. But first, let's check with our All-Star, Todd Clausen.
And Raphael, as you walk out the door this morning, some of you are going to encounter some light snow. It's not a huge problem, but some slippery conditions will be possible throughout the course of the morning commute. So we'll give you the caution light this morning for your drive into work. The good news is, as you come home from work, the snow will be over, the green light for that. We'll talk about the rest of your weekend coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now, 6:44. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Home consultation.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:46 on our Friday, and take a look here down in Franklin. A snowy morning. Those are snow flurries. Todd Clausen has been telling us as they're hitting the ground, though, most likely melting due to the warmer temperatures on the ground there. So we'll continue to monitor this. Just keep that in mind as you head out the door on this Friday morning. Okay, so just last week, we were all introduced to Blue, Butler's new mascot.
Now the young bulldog, whose given name is Butler Blue 4, is already celebrating a milestone, and he's doing it just like you may have done with your newborn baby.
So you know how you may have taken pictures of your son or daughter each month just to see how much they'd grown. Blue's parents, as you can imagine, they're doing the same thing. You see him at 1 month, then at 2 months. Oh, here we go. There we go, 1, and there's 2. Blue is now 3 months old, according to his Twitter account. He's had a busy week, TV appearances, his public introduction to the Butler fans at Henkel Fieldhouse. Someone here at the noon show was, it was Lauren, you talked to him.
He fell asleep, it was so cute.
Did he? Meeting Indiana's first dog, Henry, and then, of course, stopping by the Butler president's home. Blue 4 is in training to take over when the current mascot, Trip, retires in May.
You know, I think the biggest takeaway from this is I'm just impressed that his bulldog parents can use a camera.
That's good.
As we go a little something like this.
Galiu pavogti jūsų sielą, parašyti iš to knygą. Dar negama sudrakama, drama, grama. Pavydą išnagrinėt, po nuklydai jausmus, kur kelia žylydo. Kelybė gydo, galia be valios negydo.
Cool Lithuanian hip-hop for you all this morning.
Friday morning.
Yeah, he's been a force for the Indiana Pacers this season, and Domantas Sabonis has been rewarded with his first NBA All-Star game. Sabonis has averaged a career-high 18 points, 12.8 rebounds a game this season. He'll be chosen to play either with Team LeBron or Team Giannis in the All-Star game. That's February 16th in Chicago.
Music is global. Lithuanian hip-hop right here on Good Morning Indiana.
I don't know what they're saying, but I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, Todd Glassman is standing by with a look at our forecast. And Todd, of course, we're talking about those snow flurries we just saw from Live Drive.
Yeah, you know, snow's moving into southern portions of the area right now. It's all light, and I'm going to start you off with your headlines and temperatures before I show you the radar, and I'm doing that on purpose. So the light snow continues to develop across the area, and we're expecting some minor accumulations, mainly in southern locations, which will lead to a few slick spots across the area. So here are those temperatures, and you notice we're at 33 in Indianapolis as well as Bloomington to the north. Temperatures are below freezing, and these temperatures are key because as long as we're above freezing, unless it starts snowing really, really hard, initially a lot of the snow is just going to melt when it hits the pavement. So it looks a lot worse on Storm Team 6 radar than it is. In fact, most of this in northern locations is just a few flurries, and we're not expecting any accumulation in northern locales. But as we come into Franklin, where you saw that snowfall, and we'll show it to you here again in just a second, down towards Edinburgh, you know, as we progress throughout the morning hours and the roadways become wet and the temperature may come down another couple degrees, then we can start to see a few slick spots out there. We'll go a little further to the south. This is a pretty good band of snow south of Bloomington, down towards the Lake Monroe area, then into northern portions of Lawrence County. So if you're on State Road 37 from Bloomington down towards Bedford or I-69, you'll probably start to get the potential for a few slick spots here over the next hour or so, quicker than anybody else. But then we go a little further to the south, and you notice the changeover to rain. However, that changeover was in the Shoals area. So one of the things that can happen as heavier precipitation moves in, as it falls, it actually cools the air. And that's why you went from some rain in Shoals over to snow. So as this heavier precipitation starts to come in, I do think it will overtake the warmer temperatures here at the surface right now. And that means you'll start to get into some minor accumulation as the morning commute progresses. To the north, again, not expecting any accumulation here as it is on TrueCast. You can see the snow mainly going to make its way through southern locations by 2 o'clock. It's off into Ohio, and this evening's commute should be just fine. Here are your potential snow accumulations, and this map just updated. And the change is it keeps any accumulation further down to the south, a ½ an inch at best in southern locations. Could see a coating here in Indy. To the north, a few flurries, and that's probably just about it. If you do have Friday evening plans as we kind of wrap up to our Indy or you're elsewhere across central Indiana, just cloudy skies this evening, eventually highs right around 40 degrees. Tomorrow, 42. Could be another little brief rain snow mixture tomorrow afternoon. No accumulation. Sunday, 55 degrees. It's a great day for us. You get out there and enjoy it. We get the sunshine back. Monday, increasing clouds throughout the day, a high of 58, and then potentially a very rainy day on Tuesday. But Lauren, right now, we're dealing with the snow falling.
Yeah, and this is what it looks like down in Franklin right now. Shea Goodpaster hopped out of the Live Drive vehicle and is giving you this live picture up, looking at the lights here near I-65 and State Road 44, that exit there, exit 90. So use caution as you're traveling through that area in case there are any slick spots.
So I've been married since I was 12 years old. So this is the question that I want answered. How do you stay married and stay happy for 7 decades?
You're going to give us the answer, you 80-something-year-old?
Coming up next in Good News Friday, we found a wonderful couple who might have the answer. You have to meet them. They're an amazing couple. That's coming up next right here on Good Morning Indiana.
Or life. Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
We are wrapping up our week with the return of Good News Friday, and we start with some very good Samaritans.
This wonderful group of people in Howard County is going above and beyond to make sure that people have the possible great set of wheels that are safe and reliable. Check this out.
Yeah, this is not just your regular garage. These car enthusiasts in Kokomo are behind acts of love and charity. This is called God's Garage. Volunteers on behalf of Crossroads Community Church are helping widows, single moms, and veterans who are unable to afford vehicle repairs. Since 2018, volunteers have helped with 218 repairs and 1,000 air and fluid checks. The group recently donated the building and received a $41,000 grant to continue their ministry.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
There's a great need right here in Indiana.
This trivia night in Rushville had a lot of soul. The group Changing Footprints raised more than $3,300. The organization collects shoe donations and works with more than 100 not-for-profit groups whose families need shoes. The money raised last Saturday will help keep 5 sorting centers open in Indianapolis, Rushville, Greenfield, and Fort Wayne.
And you have to meet this couple. Say hello to Albert and Cora Reese. Yesterday, they marked their 74th wedding anniversary. They met at Fortville High and began dating in 1943.
Wow.
Albert, also known as Bud, joined the Army and was among the greatest generation to storm the beaches at Normandy in the fight against the Nazis. The couple made Fishers their home. They raised 2 boys. 74 years later, they have 3 grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren, and Bud says the secret to a long marriage is lots of patience, commitment, a love of God, and forgiveness. Congratulations on a happy 74th anniversary.
Wow.
Love that. All right, as we're heading out the door today, Todd, snow in the forecast.
Yeah, light snow mainly south of Interstate 70. You'll see some flakes to the north as well, but any accumulation is going to be from I-70 southward. We're talking about a ½ an inch or less, so it's not a big snowmaker, but a few slick spots possible this afternoon and evening, just cloudy skies.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us. We're back here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America.
All your news throughout the day can be found on the RTV6 app.
We'll leave you with one more look from Johnson County, a snowy kind of morning down south of Indianapolis. It's all going to go away. We'll see you Monday morning right here on RTV6.